morning. Our theme this morning, of course, welcome to our volunteers, but our theme is a note of thanks. So we're going to add a touch of music to our morning to thank you for all you do for us year-round. So with that happy note, I'd like to introduce Mayor Massey, who will give you a short presentation. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. What a great morning. It is not snowing. Although, from the lines on the road, the brine on the road, you can tell that we are planning for it to snow sometime this evening. And that, as Michiganders, brings us all together for something that we can collectively complain about because we can see eye to eye on the weather. So, with that, I wanted to, as I start out, I would like to make a couple of introductions. We are joined here this morning by Christine Gregg. She is our state representative. Thank you, Representative Gregg. I would also like to have all the Farmington Hills staff members please stand up, because these are the folks that put this on for you. Yep, that means Dave, go ahead, and all the rest of the people, special services, police department, our senior division and so forth, they put this together in order to recognize the important people who are here this morning. So this is our annual volunteer breakfast, and I want to thank the Adults 50 and Better for sponsoring this particular event every year. And as you'll see by the instruments on your table, the theme this morning is a note of thanks. So I guess you could say we're here to honor people of note, and those are our volunteers. These are the people in this community who regularly volunteer their time and talents to make Farmington Hills an active, interesting, and caring place to live. And that's incredibly important because we can make money. We can find all kinds of other things that we can do, but we can't make more time. So those of you who are volunteering your time, you're giving us an asset that you're sharing with us, a finite asset that you can't get back. And we're fortunate to have so many dedicated and committed people in our city. So I want to please join me in a round of applause for all of those volunteers. Our volunteers are known for service, kindness, and the devotion to others. They never strike a false note when it comes to serving people in our community. So let's take note of a couple of the accomplishments and the impressive statistics from last year. The city's senior transportation program, in partnership with SMART, provided almost 28,000 rides for older adults and those with disabilities. The Senior Nutrition Program provided over 108,000 meals to the homebound and to guests in the senior hall here at the Caustic Center. Our volunteer packers, servers, drivers all offered companionship, and in doing this donated 18,500 hours of time. And every time I'm always impressed. I just want to point out this 108,000 meals. That makes the Caustic Center and our nutrition program probably one of the busiest restaurants in southeastern Michigan. Every time I give a State of the City address, that number is incrementally increasing, and it's impressive. The Cycling for Active Adults group had 83 active members who participated in 136 rides, all organized by a volunteer leader. So let's compare notes on some other areas where our volunteers donate their time. You teach classes, answer phones, set up transportation appointments, work in the gift shop, do home repairs, bake and sell delicious blueberry cookies. The list of reasons for us to be here and offer a note of thanks is very long indeed. So, A mental note for you all. None of our volunteers do these jobs for the recognition, the accolades, or the kudos. They don't ask for high praise. You don't ask for congratulations, but you certainly deserve it. So that's why we come together every year to express our heartfelt gratitude for our volunteers who provided, and this is a big number, 24,457 volunteer hours in the senior programs last year. Nearly 24,500 hours. What is that worth? Well, if you look at what is the conversion for volunteer time is considered at this point $24.14 per hour. So you donated to us in your time $590,000 worth of time. We appreciate it. And that certainly is a high note. And I always hear my father and others who said, you know, you get out of something what you put into it. So while we're honoring our volunteers with this breakfast, honestly, I hope that you take out of the volunteer time as much enjoyment as the effort that you put into it. So in closing, I just want to say how much we value our volunteers and appreciate the fantastic work that you do every year. And thank you for being here with us today. And as my last, I would like to introduce the Mayor of Farmington, Mr. Stephen Schneeman.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Can you all hear me? Okay. As Ken mentioned, my name is Steve Schneeman. I'm the mayor of the city of Farmington, and pleasure to be here today. I want to just extend thanks to the senior division and Marcia for putting this fantastic event together. So glad to see all of you here this morning. We actually had a presentation just a couple of nights ago from Marcia and Jane, and they talked about the numbers that Ken just shared with you, and they're really kind of astounding. I'm sorry. How's that? All right. I'll hold it. Maybe I'll walk around the stage a little. Oh, no, tied to this. Okay. They talked a little bit about the numbers that Ken just shared with you, and they're really stunning if you think about it in this community. And my wife and I moved here almost 20 years ago, and one of the reasons that we moved here was the diversity in the community. And that's not only ethnic diversity, but it's also diversity in age groups. So I've often joked that our community is sort of like the Hotel California. You check in, but you never leave. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason that my wife and I have talked to each other occasionally over the years, like, is there anywhere else you'd want to live besides Farmington or Farmington Hills? And the answer is always no. We love it here, and intend to be here like many of the folks that we serve. This is the place that we're going to call home permanently. So, but there's a reason for that. And the reason is, in part, because of the fantastic volunteers that we have in both of our communities with our events, certainly with our seniors, because people care. It's about the heart. And that's something that really moves me as mayor, makes me certainly very proud to be the mayor in a place where there's so many people, just look around the room, that care so much about their community and are willing to give their time and talent to benefit their fellow citizens. So I won't go over the numbers again. I think Ken did a great job. Nearly 25,000 hours of time donated. That's a phenomenal number. I'm very proud of the work that you all are doing, and certainly very thankful, and just want to express my personal gratitude from the bottom of my heart, and trust that we all have an enjoyable time this morning, and thank you all for coming.
I'd like to thank all our city officials who came out today. So many did come out, mayors, Christine, our state rep, our police officers, firefighters, so many staff who volunteer year-round but also serve the community in a great way. So thank you for coming out today. I'm Marcia Coet. I'm the Senior Division Supervisor, and obviously our theme is a note of thanks. And with that, Anna Durham and Angela Nazak, of course, decorated. I wouldn't leave that up to me. So a big round of applause for them. And other staff that helped with this, of course, are Teresa Bryant, Pat Finn, Christine Johnston, and all the crew in the kitchen who did hey, did you like the French toast bake for a change-up? Yeah, very good. Susan Steinberg's here and Teresa Jerkovich, and I think that's all of my staff here. Okay. Our theme, of course, is a note of thanks. So whether you're into cool jazz, classical, or the blues, it all begins with notes. And your effort and volunteerism to the community is like notes put together to make great songs or music. Kind of corny, but it really does work, doesn't it? Making music involves dedication, knowledge, caring, solo and group efforts. And that's what you do, a lot of solo and group efforts. So imagine a world without music. Imagine that. And that, I'd like to say, was my line, but Rachel in Cultural Arts says it all the time, so it's a direct steal from her. Really, but just imagine a great movie without music. You can't. And, you know, the same is true here. Here at the Caustic Center, I can't imagine the Caustic Center without the great volunteers we have who give so much of their time and dedication to make our senior programs really work. You know, we really could not do, I say it every year, what we do without your efforts and service. So thank you. So I'm going to acknowledge certain groups, and I hope I catch every one of you as I try every year. But this year, our Farmington Commission on Aging, kind of a strong, mighty group, a lot of new additions. So I'm going to kind of introduce their experience to you. A direct steal from Jane. We have 2 commissioners with years of experience in senior housing, including memory care. We have 2 commissioners who hold degrees in dietary or nutrition. One is teaching in the field today. 2 who are nurses, both who have PhDs. 5 who have experience teaching and education, one who is currently on the faculty at MSU. We have several members who have cared for aging parents, and all that's inspired them for their work on the commission. 2 social workers, 3 attorneys. 2 bring leadership experience with support groups for family caregivers. 1 worked in the pharmaceutical industry, 1 in public relations, and that brings great grant writing experience to our commission. 2 are affiliated with hospital systems. 1's a veteran. 1 who knows a lot of people, really, you all know a lot of people, and 1 who serves as our photographer. So what a great, vast group of experience for 11 people. So we're so proud of them and encouraged by our new projects that we have. So our up-and-coming new project is Chuck Adica's coming here next week to talk about what to do with the second half of your life. And spoiler alert, it's of course volunteerism. But it's really a great, or service to others. So tickets are still available until 4:30 today, and that includes lunch. So get your tickets if you don't have them. I know many of you do. Our commission has updated our resource directory. They sponsor this volunteer breakfast. They're researching and advocating for a more walkable community by exploring indoor venues for walking. They enrich our community by exploring the interest and feasibility of a community garden. So all kinds of projects in the works. They work directly on preventing financial exploitation of older adults, which is just such an important issue today. And the commission is constantly updating their website with the help of Jerry Furry. Is he here today, Jerry? He was invited, but he's been a great resource for us. So, thank you, commission. Now, our AARP tax consultants. And I know they've been working overtime. Great group of volunteers. They expect to do about 650 to 700 returns this year. Yes, my goodness. As of March 30th, they had done 520. Once again, they are working overtime. And at that time, they had a total accumulated refunds of over $500,000. So money coming back to the community. Very nice. Thank you, guys. I know you're hard workers, and there you are. We have chore volunteers who do small home projects for our older adults, and what a great group they are, small but mighty. We have our telephone reassurance volunteers who brighten everyone's day with their phone calls, and the families do appreciate, too, that there's another contact for their loved one. It's a great support. As we talked about before, our bike leaders did 136 rides last year, and they're destined, they actually, get this, last year they went out on January 1st, 2017. February 3rd, and you can't go out in April now, go figure, and a few destinations during 2017 in March. But they go, they went to the Windsor Riverfront for a bike ride, Detroit Belle Isle, Kensington, and Hines Park. But they do tons of local rides, too, and they're really a nice group. And I never dreamed they'd be so big and so mighty, but I thank those volunteers who organize those rides. We have Pinochle and Bridge Group organizers who are pretty dedicated to their groups, great friends to all their members. We have some support group leaders, and they provide speakers, resources, and they're great listeners. And I know they take many phone calls at home, guiding family members, and it really does make a difference. Of course, we have our gift shop volunteers who are here and sell all those items and able to give the funds back to, seniors in need in the community. Our big Meals on Wheels and Packer drivers. Where are you? Yeah. 108,000 meals, pretty good. We had a good year for sure. Thank you for putting up with my trainings every summer. You guys know all the answers. I try to put in a trick question every year. Yes, 64,000 miles, 328. Amazing. 17,600 hours. You're a busy group. The seniors do appreciate you. We had that snow day this year where you didn't go out. And as we called all those seniors, they kept saying, I'm so glad. I was afraid for my driver. So they really do look out after you, too. But in keeping with our note of thanks, without mentioning names, you know who you are. We have two very talented servers Wednesdays, and they'll sing a tune for you as you go through the line. So not mentioning names, but there's always a little extra with our volunteers. A special thank you to the volunteers who pack and deliver meals on Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Easter mornings. And they're up bright and early, so quite a service. And our PKC and Exemplar Club volunteers who scoop food, cut turkey, peel, and mashed potatoes for our community Thanksgiving dinner where we serve 500. I always like a fun statistic. They mashed potatoes, 3 cases of jumbo Idaho potatoes. So good work there for those volunteers. Now we have a few volunteers we recognize for their individual efforts because they pretty much volunteer every day. And Dennis, where are you? There you go, Dennis. If you don't know Dennis, you're not here very much because he's a he's a great guy. He's our official greeter. He has a smile for everyone. Neil, where are you, Neil? Hey, Neil. Neil's looking pretty dapper in that suit coat today. Yes, yep. And he has some special duties in Conway Hall. Smile for everyone. We miss him when he's on vacation, glad when he comes back. Yes. And he has milk duty, moving carts, and assists the drivers carrying items to their car. And Jack. I didn't see Jack come in. Where's Jack? Oh, Jack has his own special duties too. Besides being my right-hand man, he is just the best. He works with the Meals on Wheels program, and he's our best setter up for parties. And honest to God, he does something before I ask him. I said, "Did you get the trays?" He's done. Everything's done. He's so organized and just cheerful all the time. So once again, he's one, if you don't know Jack, I don't know where you've been. So cheer out to Jack. Let's give him a round of applause. Now, we do have a few office helpers who sort and file, answer phones, roll silverware, and do so many nice odd jobs that just take a lot of time and really free us up to do other things. We have party and special events volunteers who set up for parties, make cookies, work at the cookie booth, holiday parties, courtyard planting, our senior expo, Thanksgiving dinner. And this does include many staff. The police department helps us out, the fire department staff, people like Joe Pines at City Hall. Dave Boyer comes out when he can, staff here. So could you guys all give a wave, all those volunteers who are staff and come during your lunch hours and help serve for our parties? Now, the police has a handicapped parking enforcement volunteers. Last year, they did just over 100 violations. How? You just can't park in a handicapped spot. Really? Really? This year, they wrote 211 tickets on their free time. Isn't that wonderful? Not if you got a ticket, it's not, right? But they go out in poor weather and you know, just make our community a better place for people with a disability. So, you know, I wish everyone would just stop parking in those spots and put them out of work. How's that? But I do thank those volunteers for taking their time. We have 21 S.A.G.E volunteers, and these volunteers are matched up with teachers in the elementary school. And they give at least 2 hours a week, but many give so much more time. And they help with reading and math groups. And their volunteerism is just making a difference in our young people's lives. And we could use more volunteers. The teachers are really looking for help in the classroom and what a difference it makes. And all the volunteers who do this work really, really enjoy it. So if you're interested in S.A.G.E, let Anna know. Okay. Our Sojourn Bears volunteers, Joyce and her 17 volunteers meet each month to create personalized, big word, bears for people who have cancer. And during this last year, they made 202 bears. Pretty amazing. Okay. The bears are truly a comfort to all the recipients. So much so that a social worker from Providence Social Work came out, oncology department, and Joyce does deliver the bears to individuals. We deliver them to individuals, but also to oncology units. And the staff themselves wrote a really nice check to support the program, seeing every day how much those bears mean. The bears are individualized, so if you're a state fan like my daughter's friend was, the Bears decorated as green and white. If you're a golfer or a gardener, the Bears decorated to your hobby, your interest, and what a warm, caring gift that our volunteers do. So we thank our Bear sewers, and another round of applause for them. So with that, there's a great thanks to all our volunteers. You are truly appreciated. And as I said in our theme of notes, you know, you do make a difference. I can't imagine a great movie without a great musical song, and I can't imagine the Caustic Center and all the services without your help. So thank you. And I would like to introduce Carl Christoph and Mary Buchanan, who will give out our Commission on Aging Awards.
There you go.
Carl and I are members of the Commission on Aging, and we get the opportunity of picking out two very special volunteers to receive special awards. And the first one is called the Margaret Loretas Diamond Award. If you've been around the Caustic Center very long, you probably knew Maggie Loretas. She was one of the first people that became involved in working with seniors in the Farmington community. The Margaret Loretas Award is given to a volunteer over the age of 75.
Oh, they gave my age away.
I was going to ask you if you minded if I told them you were 93. This is Faye Jacobs, and she is 93. And Faye was nominated for her volunteer work at the Karmanos Cancer Institute, which is over on Northwestern Highway. She works 3 hours every week, and her main job is to help women who are coming to the center to have mammograms. So she helps them know where to go and what to do and what the procedure is. But her most valuable job in that situation is the reassurance that she gives to these women that are coming into the center for sometimes a very serious diagnosis. She has a background in a school as a school secretary. So she's used to wearing many hats, and that's what's happened at Karmanos. Although she has one main job, she has many, many other jobs that she's undertaken at Karmanos. She's a greeter. She's a navigator. She does secretarial work. She delivers mail. She gets water and snacks for people. She gives smiles and hugs. And she gives, and kisses, oh. And she gives compliments very readily. This is a quote from the medical director. Faye makes a difference for staff and patients. Her greatest contribution is the smile she brings to everyone. She eases patient anxiety with her kind, gentle, and comforting manner. And from her coworkers and other volunteers, I heard these words: Faye is my hero. I love Faye. Faye is an inspiration. She's a little buddy, and she is little, isn't she? Faye is the best. She is the greatest volunteer that we have. And so it's with great pleasure that I'm able to give Faye the Margaret Loretas Diamond Award for her volunteer work. Congratulations. Oh, you have words, huh?
I want to thank my family for being here today in my honor. I also want to thank Karmanos for selecting me. I love going to volunteer at Karmanos. They are very, very wonderful to me. It's been a great, great 10 years of volunteering. Hope I will be able to do it for another 10 years. I hope.
This is from the state of Michigan. And this is from this city,
Oh, my gosh.
and this is for you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Want me to take her back?
Yes.
Another round of applause for Faye.
Good morning. I'm Carl Christoph. As Mary described to you that she and I are both members of the Commission on Aging, I really prefer to refer to myself as an aging commissioner. It's really a pleasure to serve on the commission. It's more active than it's ever been. And I have the privilege of introducing Terry Dykert for the Gold Award. Now, when lawyers make a list and they include the list in their pleading, it's assumed by other lawyers that if it's not on the list, you didn't mean it to be there. Well, when I started talking to people about giving this award or presenting this award to Terry, everyone had a different take on what I should be telling the audience about Terry and what she's done. Now, I don't want to make a list because I don't want to leave anything out, but Terry's community service or volunteering started back in the Longacre House. She worked with Ray Okonski, who's here today, and Terry served as on the board and as president. And when Terry is on a board, she participates. She does everything that is expected and more some. And if I could put one word to describe Terry, I would say baskets. And there's never a event that she does not construct baskets and have them out there for the silent auctions. And I wish I could give you a number like Marcia and say how much Terry's baskets have netted for the community, but anybody that's been at any event and seen the baskets on which to bid, that was probably a Terry Dykert basket. In addition to the Longacre House, Terry's been with the Exemplar Club, and she's served on that board for many years. She served as president, and she's very active. She started the Euchre fundraiser, and she put it together, and there were many naysayers who said, you know, you can't get anybody to play cards on a Saturday night. Well, it's one of the Exemplar Club's largest fundraisers every year, and it's largely because of Terry's efforts. Terry's been very active in the turnaround program, and the turnaround program encourages students who might not be on the right path to turn around and get on the path. In Terry's business, the roof management company, she and her husband Tommy have hired many of these turnaround people, and when you do that, you're taking a risk, and they've done that. Tom smiled. Yeah, taking that risk, they've never hesitated to try to give somebody a break. Now again, you know, when I talked about the list, if I have missed anything, it was not intentionally. Terry is a tireless volunteer and is an asset to our community, and I'm going to turn it over. Terry will perhaps say a word or two, we hope.
You know, it's funny, when I learned about a month ago that I was awarded this, and I'm thinking, you know, they got the wrong person because I'm not a senior. I'm not on the aging committee. You know what? This has got to be wrong. Well, I'm thinking about this. But Marcia mentioned about ARP. I've been getting ARP for 13 years. I've never opened an envelope. And besides, I started getting it before I was 50, and I threw it in the garbage. It's like, all right, they got my dates wrong. So this morning, I'm getting ready, and this is how my brain was working. I wore nylons. I haven't had nylons on in probably 10 years. So I get down, I'm bending down, I get the one leg in. I can't get the other leg in. It won't bend. It was like, I had 2 knee replacements and a hip replacement. So it's like, what the hell? I need both hands to get the other leg to hold one leg up so I can get it in. So naturally, my husband comes to my rescue. Then it was putting on my brassiere. I can't get it hooked that way anymore. I have to turn it around and hook it. Then I was looking for earrings. Now, mind you, I have contacts in. I can't find any earrings, so I have to get my bifocals to go onto my contacts so that, then it's dawning on me, you know what? I am old. When did this happen? Because I really, I just didn't think I was this old. So, but I did have one time somebody tell me I was delusional. And I can remember distinctly, I was so mad. Steam was coming out of my nose and my ears. Like, how dare they call me delusional? Well, I must be delusional because I'm thinking in my head I'm 30 and really I'm 63. So, and this morning proved it to me. But I want to thank everybody that nominated me. That was very kind. It touched my heart. And I love this community. And I love the people in it. But most of all, I have a family that supports me. I just love them to death. And they make me so proud every day. And thank you. And thank you, Ray and Diana.
Good morning. Can everybody hear me? Are we good? All right. My name is Teresa Bryant, and I have the privilege of being the Nutrition Services Coordinator. So I have under me all these wonderful Meals on Wheels volunteers, drivers and packers, and I have the best group, I have to say. I have to brag on my group. If I didn't have them, I wouldn't be able to do my job, and they provide so much, whether it's a laugh, a insight on one of our participants, sharing of their life, just a joy to see them every day. So I'm going to ask another round of applause for my wonderful Meals on Wheels packers, drivers, kitchen staff. They are great. They are great. So the Loretta Conway Senior Division Award was created to celebrate volunteers who show outstanding dedication and service to the Adults 50 and Better program. In July of 1974, Loretta began serving older adults in the Farmington and Farmington Hills area 2 days a week with programs such as day trips, dinners, speakers, movies, bingo, library services, and craft projects. After just a few years, the program evolved into 5 days a week and has become our wonderful 50 and Better program. The 2018 award goes to a deeply committed individual who we are happy to have as part of our team of volunteers. Margaret Attard, would you please join me on stage? Margaret began volunteering in our Meals on Wheels packing program in 2001. And as always seems to occur with our wonderful volunteers, what started out as a phone call, as a request just to, start helping out, evolved into 2 days a week, assisting in packing our meals for our homebound. which today is Thursday. Aren't you supposed to be packing?
That's what I'm supposed to do. I have my day off.
On the days that Margaret volunteers, she's the first one here, usually before staff, and preps the work area by sanitizing all the surfaces, counting out the butter to go in the bread, and prepares trays and cups for any of the additional items that we have going home. When Margaret is behind the steam table, you need to be on your toes. The other packers fondly refer to her as the steam engine, as there are no wasted steps. The work is done quickly and efficiently, and unless you physically say, "Margaret, please slow down so we can catch up," she keeps going. Whatever it is we are serving that day, you can assume that Margaret has probably made it, cooking for her family, and can probably give you the recipe, always with a little Maltese twist to it. Margaret is extremely pleasant, hardworking, generous, and always has a kind smile to welcome you to the day. I am pleased to have the opportunity to work with her and honored to be allowed to present the Loretta Conway Senior Division Award. Congratulations.
Thank you. Can I say something?
If you want to.
I want to thank everybody who nominated me. And 18 years ago, I came here for the first time. Now here I am. We are like a big family here. This is our second family for me. You know, we enjoy every minute and everything we do together. You know, thank you very much, all of you.
Good morning, everybody. I've been, very apprehensive about coming up, but after Terry's announcement, I feel much closer to all of you. I'm here to present the Aldo Vagnozzi Spirit Award. It was created in 2009 to honor the memory of Aldo as a role model to volunteers of the future. Aldo held the distinction of being the first directly elected mayor of Farmington Hills and a member of the Michigan State House of Representatives from 2002 to 2006. He was a very active and enthusiastic volunteer within the community. And this year's Aldo Vagnozzi Spirit Award recipient is Teresa Bryant. Teresa, would you please come up? Oh, geez. Okay. Wow, I didn't know you were up. Okay. Teresa is an outstanding volunteer and beyond that, just a wonderful person. She has a smile for everyone and continually looks for ways to help people and make their lives and situations better. She is a true ambassador for our 50 and over division, whether she is bringing someone to the center for the first time or showing someone around. She is always warm and welcoming to all she meets. And to those who look lost, which can happen here within our halls, she kindly takes them where they need to be. One of Teresa's heartfelt efforts is the low vision support group that meets here at the center. She phones the 22 members once a month to remind them of the meeting date and to chat, especially those who are unable to attend. Teresa understands only too well their needs because of her own vision challenges. Teresa has also volunteered as library coordinator for many years. Books are brought in weekly from the Farmington Library, and Teresa, along with another volunteer, set up the table, checks books in and out, and diligently tracks down errant books, much to the appreciation of the Farmington Library. So everyone, with much admiration, appreciation, and friendship, I present the Aldo Vagnozzi Spirit Award to our very own Teresa Bendit.
I'm very grateful for this award and this honor, and I thank all of you that I've worked with, and I look out and I see so many volunteers, and each one of you inspire me and makes this world a much better place. And I thank all of my friends. I thank especially Judy Davis, who works with me on the library books every week, and I'm delighted that my sister and brother-in-law and all my other friends are here today. But I thank you so much. I started this volunteering as a thank you, especially to transportation, who gets me here to the center a couple of times and sometimes more every week, and to doctor appointments. And I've come to appreciate the friendliness and kindness of all of the staff and all of the participants who are here. It's just a wonderful place. Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you for all your work. Elders. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, too. Thank you so much. Thanks, Marcia.
Hello, everyone. My name's Anna Durham, and I am here to present the S.A.G.E Award. And S.A.G.E stands for Senior Adults Giving to Education. It's a community program that's been in place for over 30 years. The program is designed to bring senior adults into the elementary classrooms in our community. This is put on with Farmington Hills Special Services, Adults 50 and Better, and Farmington Public Schools. Robert A. Eastman was the first S.A.G.E volunteer whose professional code of ethics carved out a place for our current S.A.G.E volunteers. In honor of Robert A. Eastman, the S.A.G.E program dedicated an award for an outstanding S.A.G.E volunteer for the future. And I'd like to introduce to you this year's Robert A. Eastman S.A.G.E Award recipient is Donna Hicks, who happens to be right here. Donna was one of the first volunteers I placed in this program when I began with the City of Farmington Hills, and she's been in Kate Donnelly Harris's room. It's a first grade classroom in Gill Elementary for the last 4 years. Kate unfortunately couldn't be here today because it's spring break, obviously, but she sure wishes she would, so she had some nice words that she wrote for me to read to Donna today. So Kate told me that she's been a gift. Donna goes out of her way to create engaging projects that align with our curriculum to intervene and enhance instruction. Her warm and caring demeanor is a hit with her students who eagerly await their turn to meet her. She engages students in writing, reading, and math activities. At the end of the year, Donna brings her puppeteer friends in for a play, musical demonstration, and hands-on puppet activities. Wouldn't you want to be in that classroom? She goes above and beyond. The students at Gill and their teacher have benefited immeasurably by Donna's involvement. So thank you, Donna, and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the award. It's really a joy for me to be in the classroom with Kate each week. I spent 40 years teaching, and I really never wanted to leave, and I guess I haven't because I still get to be with children. But one of the biggest joys, I guess, of going every week is that I get to see my neighbor, my friend, and the school secretary, Pam, who's sitting right over here with me, who came with me today. And it just makes me still see what a difficult job teaching, being a school secretary, working in the schools is. They're busy, busy, busy all the time, and I'm glad that I can help. So thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for all you do. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, one quick announcement before you're all dismissed. I need all our award winners to meet over by the side of the room so we can get a nice photo of you. And the rest of you, thank you for coming out and enjoying our volunteer breakfast and celebrating our volunteers. Thank you.